Welcome to another video where we can discuss something from the world of sports. Beyond coaching, he is a TED speaker, sports educator, and multilingual analyst.
And actually that was kind of great interaction and great connection, I think, between people in Kerala and all of us coming from different backgrounds. Nice results, and I hope that everybody enjoyed. Let's say Indian maybe restaurant or kind of things in Europe that you can. Well, we always went for a good samosa or a good pani puri somewhere, or many things we were tasting. Always asking the local people when we were stopping somewhere, okay, what's good? Gorgeous, because not many people know about Kerala. Koikod, Trishur.
We dive deep into his journey, his experiences as a player and coach. So let's welcome Coach Ivan Vukomanovic. How would you describe the hospitality and warmth of people of Kerala while you were in Kerala? Can you please describe?
Well, absolutely, it was a great pleasure. First of all, on every step where we were going around, we were accepted with open hearts and arms, and it felt good. It felt really nice, and of course, when you see this kind of hospitality, when you experience that, you want to give everything from yourself. And actually, that was kind of great interaction and great connection, I think, between people in Kerala and all of us coming from different backgrounds in Kerala Blasters, which created later the great emotion connected with the club. Nice results, and I hope that everybody enjoyed that period. So what I can describe, that was nothing but the joy, happiness, smile on every step we were going, whether we were winning or losing sometimes. It was pleasure. It was a big pleasure to be there.
Yeah. How do you also find the food in Kerala, far from Europe, when you come to Kerala?
But at the beginning, it was kind of strange. Of course, you always get in contact with, let's say, Indian maybe restaurant or kind of things in Europe that you can find across. But it's nothing similar like when you are actually in India. And in this case, in Kerala, of course, going around and tasting new flavors, new things, it was great experience. I remember many times us stopping somewhere when we were riding or driving around Kerala, seeing lots of people in front of whether it was a food market or food junction, whatever it is. We always wanted to stop, to experience, to see what's happening and to taste new things. So
Yeah.
it was really nice. Sometimes we were tasting certain things that we never tasted before. Of course, it was fun and happiness.
So while talking on some snacks or food, which one it comes to your mind?
Well, we always went for a good samosa or a good pani puri somewhere, or many things we were tasting around with. I remember even good sambar. But I remember eating. I will say not often, but enjoying sadhya lunch, or the things that we get mostly around Onam. But very often we were ordering that. Then some good biryani, good, like I said, pani puri, pabdi chaat, or something like that. We were always asking the local people when we were stopping somewhere, okay, what's good? What you are advising us to taste? And they were always, okay, try this and try that.
Okay.
So many things that we tasted around Kerala. And actually, I liked a lot. I liked everything a lot, and sometimes it was too spicy, but we survived. No problem.
Okay. Yeah.
For us Europeans, sometimes it's quite challenging, but it was nice.
Yeah. So when you're talking about food, and after that, I believe that you have gone to many countries. How many countries you have visited so far?
I think more than 50.
More than 50.
In the world, I think today, only in the FIFA ranking, there are 211 countries competing in the football qualification rounds. But I think that more than 50 countries I visited, even more, for sure. Thanks to football, from Australia to the other part of the planet, traveling around the world thanks to football and the games and pre-season periods and everything. It's kind of something that makes you thinking differently when you encounter different cultures, different mentalities, different characters. The way you start thinking about many other things when you face and see people living in different conditions that maybe some other people living on the other side of the planet, then you start realizing and accepting harsh reality And the thing that I like the most while being in India and everything, I stopped complaining about many things.
Okay.
Because when you face and you are not aware of that, not many people from Europe or some other parts of the world, they cannot imagine how huge India is. They cannot imagine the thing we can see in India, all around India.
Yeah.
And then when you face all that, when you are part of that, living there, spending your time on a long term, actually you realize how life can be nice and difficult,
Yeah.
and how you have to go with it, how you have to adapt certain things. And I think that we adapt it very well. And today I'm grateful for all the time that I spent there, and I will always come back.
So, as a tourist destination, how do you rate Kerala? After seeing all these countries coming down to India, especially Kerala,
Yeah.
how do you rate?
Gorgeous, because not many people know about Kerala, especially again talking about Europeans, where actually Europe is a huge part and very rich in history for centuries. When you go back to, I think, 20 centuries in behind, even more, you can find certain things around Europe. And many people in Europe, they are mostly concentrated visiting those places, which is nice. But the moment you step out of that comfort zone, which is in Europe, everything's close. In 1 or 2 hours, you can be wherever you want. With the connection flights and even driving car around Europe on a good highways. You can cross borders without passport check controls, and you can visit great cities. But India and Kerala especially is something that not many people know. The moment you get in touch with it, you actually realize how gorgeous it is, how beautiful the nature, people, hospitality, climate. Some of Europeans or some other people can suffer a little bit due to humidity, but actually you get used to it.
Yeah.
And when you see and feel nice weather and hot weather, I'd say, you can go with it. You can experience many nice things. There are so many things in Kerala to visit. So whoever wants to go there.
Which all of the places you visited in Kerala?
Well, I think from north till south, all the way from Malappuram to Trivandrum, or how we say Thiruvananthapuram.
Thiruvananthapuram,
yeah,
yeah.
As a capital city. So we were visiting many spots at the seaside, apart from Cochin, and then inland places starting from Kozhikode, Thrissur, many Munnar, great spot to be seen, great nature, great things. Then I remember also going to
beaches.
Cherai Beach and many other spots that we were visiting just to chill out a little bit, to switch off for the moment. I remember going inland to some small towns I remember Pala, I remember Kanyirapalli, I remember Kottayam, Idiki, some other places and spots that we were going around, and it was always very nice feeling. You are in the nature, you are in the middle of nowhere, but there is always something to be seen. So that's nice.
You have a very good memory. You are memorizing names so fast. While I was talking to you, you were talking about the small towns name and name. Yeah,
I try.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not easy, it's challenging. I remember even once we were traveling, I don't remember where exactly for a game, whether it was northeast or Jamshedpur. We were coming back, flying through different airports always. I think we were in Bangalore or Chennai in a transit, and we were sitting in one coffee shop, and one guy, it was early in the morning, he arrived, he was a little bit drunk, I must say. And then he started asking us, "Hey, you are from Kerala Blasters and everything, and one of your players is from my village." And then, it was fun, and we asked him, "Okay, what village is that?" And then he was repeating that village for like 10 times, nobody could retain it. And then today, even if we have fun about it, I have difficulties pronouncing something like
Mulangundathukau. Yeah.
And actually, every time when I was talking to that player, speaking, this was fun. So sometimes it's challenging to retain all those names, but it was always a pleasure to go around, to meet people, and to have that experience.
Correct. Especially the names in Malayalam, it finds a little difficult to spell.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not easy language to learn. And unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of boys from Kerala in the beginning. Management as well. When you were in Kerala Blasters, mostly the players, also in the dressing room, they talk English. In English, depending, they're all coming from different states. Sometimes they had the difficulties to understand each other, but then when you establish that, like, okay, everybody's speaking English, that you have to go with it.
Okay.
But again, with
So will the eighth language will be Malayalam? Or?
you never know.
Yeah.
In a life, you never know what can happen, where you can go and stay on a longer period or settle. You never know. So my experience, whenever I was changing countries, first abroad experience arriving in France, I didn't know not a single word in French.
Okay.
But later, somehow you manage in 6 months and 1 year, you are fluent. You have a good teacher, good program for immigrants to learn it. Otherwise, it's also a challenge in your period where you experience this professionalism on a higher level.
Yeah.
And you realize if you don't fight and if you don't try to adapt as quick as possible, very quickly the clubs on that cruel professional level can change you.
Okay.
And if you're coming from poor background like I'm coming, that you have to fight for your family, for your existence and everything, and you are 20 years old, in a period when there was no internet, no mobile connections, no mobile phones. When you explain that to the kids today, they cannot understand. Like, how the hell could you live like without mobile phone or internet? That was the time.
Now we can't even think of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember having this only like a phone at home, fixed number, and that was it. But somehow we managed to arrive on time always.
Okay.
Today, I think with all these things that we have, there are still difficulties that people can meet their promises or something. But anyway, with that experience, when I arrived in France, like, okay, you have to learn it, you have to adapt, otherwise nobody will accept you.
Okay.
Then going through that process, later realizing, okay, you get the contracts thanks to that. People respect you, you open many doors for you, not only in the football world, but many other industries. So actually that helped me later realizing every time when I was changing countries, okay, try to do your best, try to adapt, try to learn the language.
Okay.
It shows also the way how you respect the environment, community, society there. And thanks to those things, actually, when I arrived in Belgium, learning new language, I settled down in Belgium. I bought a house. It's been now 20 years I live in Belgium. I got the Belgian nationality. So these kind of things you cannot sometimes plan, but it happens. And later on, you actually, when you look backwards, you realize that these were really huge and big steps in one's life. So actually, I like to continue that way. So like I say, you never know where the wind will take us away.
So, let's come back to Kerala Blasters. So can you tell about your, time that you spent in Kerala Blasters?
First of all, it was great experience. It was priceless. I remember having these offers from different countries, and then there was the call from the management of Kerala Blasters. I must admit, I didn't know nothing about Indian football whatsoever.
Okay.
And then, of course, you always do your own research. You want to see what's going around that project. And the moment I saw the fans, the moment I saw the energy, the emotion, I said, all the other offers just go away. Yeah. Because I had that feeling during all my football career as a player, as a coach. I was always making those decisions on my gut feeling. Yeah. You kind of want to meet people, you kind of want to talk to them a little bit, to research a little bit, and then you have that gut feeling. We like to say, in our countries, it's like when you meet your, a girlfriend or something, then there is a kind of heat or emotion. Yeah. So when I saw all that, what's happening around Kerala Blasters, researching and seeing the fact that they were suffering a lot in the previous seasons, I was like, you know what, that's the place to be. I want to be there. Okay. And then actually, very quickly, when we got the second call immediately the day after, with the owners, we got a deal in 5 minutes. Because I told them, listen, I want to be there. There is no problem for me. They were a little bit concerned if I'm afraid to go in India, especially it was still the period of COVID. Yeah. Where actually many people were having doubts and, of course, fear. Everybody was afraid of certain things.
And you came to Blasters during the COVID time, correct?
Yeah. I remember arriving immediately and having these, we had to fly, arrive with all these costumes and the scaphanders and all these masks. I remember on our shields, on the faces. Then I remember on a daily basis we were doing these PCR tests. Correct. Then later when we moved all to Goa, where we spent 6 months in a enclosed bubble where actually the whole competition was played in Goa, I remember every day Every day we were doing, all of us from the club, from players.
Okay, yeah.
Every day we were doing at least 2 PCR tests.
Yeah.
So the morning you wake up, the evening when you come back from a training session, day of the game as well. So it was kind of annoying.
Okay.
But 6 months actually being in that kind of environment teaches you again certain things what you have to respect. Even having all these details organized, we all got COVID at one point. We had to stop playing. And then luckily enough, everybody in this globe found a way to fix that problem.
Yeah, true.
And later on, it was the end of season. We arrived on a 1-year contract, and already we made the deal because I wanted to feel Kochi.
Yeah.
I wanted to feel Kerala. I wanted to feel playing in the stadium.
Yeah.
Because with those fans, it's something priceless. So I said,
What do you feel, or what you can say about the chanting that you miss in the stadium?
Well, it's something that every boy is dreaming of the moment you start shooting the ball behind the house or in your garden with your friends or your father, or you start dreaming that one day because you watched it on TV. Today, kids, they have it in 2 clicks. They can see it on internet. They can see many things that are available. We as kids, we were always dreaming, like, first from our local team who was playing in a top division, going to the stadium, being the ball boys behind the goal, and then seeing all those fans around chanting. And we were dreaming, okay, one day I want to be there on the pitch.
Yeah.
I want to play for my hometown. I want to play for the team that I support the most, or national team. That was the biggest pride of all football players always. And then actually, when you realize later, starting practicing through your school system and clubs, you realize it's a hard work. You have to work a lot. You have to sacrifice a lot of your private time, family time, if you want to reach certain level. And then the day that you become a football player, that you start playing in front of huge crowds, you dream about staying there, playing for those crowds, because it makes you motivated, it makes you happy, and it makes it takes everything best out of you.
Yeah. And
arriving in Kerala, when I saw everything what's happening around the club, when I said I want to be there because of those fans, the feeling and the first game, it's something priceless. So that moment of these 20 seconds, I'd say, when you exit the dressing room and you start walking towards the pitch and in the tunnel going, and already in the dressing room you hear the fans chanting and you hear everything trembling in that stadium.
Correct.
And these 20 seconds going through the tunnel to hit the pitch, for me it was kind of the best moments, the zen, the great concentration, and then going out, having that interaction with fans. Everybody would like to have that. It's priceless. For me, it will stay in my heart till the end of my life. Something special that I don't know if anybody else could come close to that, but for me it's something that's in my heart.
And in the stadium you had a very good rapport, you do interact well with the fans. So how do you do that actually?
But as a leader, as a coach, you want your team to perform well. You want your team to win games. These people, so all the fans, they come to the stadium, they want to see the spectacle.
Yeah.
They want to see their team winning. So again, coming after several seasons, I think 5 or 6 seasons without qualifying for playoffs, then you realize and you arrive you reach finals, you are there, and suddenly you become competitive.
Yeah.
So the fans, they want that, especially in Kerala Blasters. I was always saying in media that I would like to build up the team who will always be competitive, who will always be in top, fighting for the trophies, whether it's difficult or not, because sometimes you are operating on very limited budget.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have that feeling where the fans, when they come to the stadium, they get to see what they like to see.
Yeah.
And I was always explaining players.
You mean Ivanism?
Yeah, but it became somehow, it automatically arrived without even planning anything, because the players and coaches, all together with technical and medical staff, we created kind of nice atmosphere, energy that was recognized by so many people. In football, you cannot fake fans, no chance. So if you do something with your full heart, honestly, you are correct in expressing yourself with emotions and the way you play and everything, the fans, they appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes even if you lose the game, you know, and you give everything, fans, they appreciate it.
You're
Because
correct,
as a coach, always I was telling players, guys, our task, of course, we want to win, but our task is that we give everything. Because the biggest regret as a professional football player is the moment when you arrive in the evening late at home or in a hotel, wherever you are, you arrive in front of your mirror in a bathroom, you're brushing your teeth, and you look at yourself and you tell yourself, today you didn't give everything.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tackle there? Why didn't you help your friend? Why? And that's the biggest regret that you can have, and it stays in your head. I was always explaining them, if you give everything, if you do everything you can, there is no regret.
Yeah.
At the end, if you lose the game, you go, you shake hands, and you tell the opponents, okay, today you were better. I see you next time.
Yeah.
And this kind of feeling I wanted to, let's say, implement within the players group, where actually the moment we step on the pitch, okay, this is our stadium, this is our fortress. Here, we will rock and roll, you know?
Yeah.
And with this kind of feeling, emotion, and expressing ourselves, actually fans recognize that, okay, there is something nice going on. We have one nice team. We have a good coaching staff. We have good people leading us. And actually it created kind of a nice story around it. Then with the circumstances and many other things that were happening around, it created that, okay, we have a leader who can show us maybe the way how to reach certain things. And you know, we all enjoyed it together. So it was nothing planned. It just was created. And thanks to those fans and media and everybody, I'm grateful for that, really.
Yeah. So,
I will always stay Ashan.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you describe in a word, what would you describe Manyapada as? Do I need to
Look, listen, unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know why? Because nobody expects that. You know, whoever comes to Kochi, whether to play or watch the game, you don't expect that. Actually, you are going to the stadium where we're now entering this, like the pitch, and saying, yeah, okay, there are some people, there are some fans. But the moment you enter and you see that happening, you say, wow. You know, sometimes I remember it was impossible to interact with players because it was so noisy.
So noisy.
And I was, you know, in one moment I was like, okay, for 10 seconds, maybe I need that period to tell them. But on the other hand, I was grateful.
Yeah, I still remember the last inaugural game in Kalur, you know. Full of people, full of fans.
Yeah. And then actually when the atmosphere is like that, Kochi is special. Kerala Blasters as a club is very special, which means not many coaches can be in that seat. Depends on character and mentality. Not many players can come and play for Kerala Blasters because it means that you must have great character, great mentality to play in front of that crowd, to give everything the way we need. And it's very intimidating for the opponents to come and play in Kochi. When the things are good. When the things are not good or less good, I'd say, then it's easy. You know, then Kerala Blasters are not rocking, and then you can take easy points. But when you create that atmosphere where it's fortress, and with thanks to fans who pushed all the players during the game, well, you just become unbeatable. You just become, and that's why we had many turnovers to win the games. I think we broke the records about the amount of victories, conceding goals, scoring goals, and all these things during 3 years. Thanks to fans, because they were always there to support us. During first season, even when we were in the bubble, even not being there, but having that feeling, because we were feeling that via media and everything, it was priceless. So for Manyapada, is like unbelievable.
Okay. So can you please share any instances that you feel so much connected with Manyapada, those kind of instances?
Well, they know as well, all the people and all the fans, they know that for 3 seasons being there, we were never faking them. Whether the period was good or less good, we were always expressing ourselves the correct way. We were always communicating from our way on the pitch and off the pitch, the way it was actually the reality, and the people appreciated it.
Okay.
Nobody was faking, nobody was talking BS or some other stupid things. We were always clear and saying, okay guys, now we are maybe suffering, but we'll come out of it.
Yeah.
Together with you, together we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Or when we were good, we were like, thanks to them and everything, and people were appreciating that because we were acceptable, we were present. You know, we were never hiding behind some stupid facts or whatever it is.
Correct.
And we were always there. The people knew that they can meet us, they can see us, they can talk to us. We were kind of, okay, we are reachable, we are there. No problem with us to spend time. Or so these kind of things actually created also that aura around the team and everything, where all the players and everything, they were appreciated.
Yeah. As a coach, you always say your job is to take decisions. So when it comes to decisions, what do you feel? You know, some decisions went good, some decisions went bad. So what do you talk about? What do you tell about that?
Well, you know, I learned one thing in my life. I was never, let's say, I never regret maybe some wrong decisions.
Yeah.
I would maybe more regret some good decisions that I made for wrong people.
Correct.
But of course, you have to take decisions, and sometimes you have a couple of seconds to take them in football. And it's not like you can film it or you can record it and then maybe you can repeat later. No, you have that one moment. Like when you go to press conference and when you go, you know, interact with your players during the game. So, of course, sometimes you don't have to overthink a lot about it. It's kind of your experience and education that brings you to one point where you say, okay, this is how I think that it should be good. When it comes to some decisions, I was always consulting, of course, the technical stuff during the game or during the halftime or whenever. And then together you can always make better decision.
Yeah.
Or, you know, listen to different opinions. But at the end, as a coach, it's your final word. You have to make those decisions. And, you know, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because kind of work that you see, especially younger players improving, certain things in your club improving in your company. And I like those moments. So for me, it was never a huge task or problem whatsoever. It was kind of, okay, let's go with the flow, we do it.
Yeah. So the decision that you made during the Bangalore FC match. So while we talk about that, you know, what do you feel right now?
Actually, nothing. Because first of all, it's in the past. Then in that moment, it felt like correct to do it.
Yeah.
Because seeing what was happening all around and previous experiences, previous happenings, with that accumulation of everything, I was kind of, no, I don't want to allow that against us. I don't want to be part of that, and I don't want to see my team suffering because somebody is making these kind of decisions, you know. You know, I took a harsh decision. It costed us a lot. Playoff disqualification, later personal suspension. Club get a huge fine. Me personally, I get also. And at the end, even if many people from the same ISL Federation and AIFF, and especially from FIFA and UEFA, when they saw everything what was happening, so all of them, they said that I was right, it was the referee's mistake and everything, but at the end, that's how it works and operates. And it, you know, you just go through it, the time pass, and it's the moment where actually I hope, where the people in federation on some maybe, let's say with referees organization, they will realize, okay, these are the things that we have to improve.
Okay.
Because every year we were getting these informations, you have to improve your clubs, your players, everything, all the compartments in your business as a club. But yet never we saw the maybe referees level improving. So even now you see coaches in ISL complaining. I think about that, many difficult decisions. I was always the first one who was advising, okay, bring the needed technology, help those guys to solve those situations better and easier. So, and I will always support that. Even the referees, they know they never had a trouble with me.
Yeah.
You know, even when that happened, I didn't have interaction with the referee. I didn't say nothing to any of referees. So in that opinion, you know, it's kind of, it's in the past. I hope that everybody will move on, improve, and that maybe one of these moments will be, you know, remembered both in positive and negative way. But let's say hope that it will never happen again in ISL. But maybe it was kind of like, okay, let's shake a little bit, let's wake up because we need those improvements. And I remember telling the players in the dressing room immediately when we entered that I will never allow that somebody's doing that against them. That I will always protect them. And it is my decision, and they don't have to worry. It's my decision. It's on me. So it's in the past. We moved on. Yeah. We got our suspension. We moved on. We had some nice moments afterwards, and the life continues.
Yeah. So after you moved out from Kerala Blasters, you never talked officially to fans. So what do you want to talk to them?
We never had official interaction with media, nor with fans. I needed kind of after 3 years. It was the decision of management to break the cooperation. Of course, from my side, I was also a little bit disappointed with the facts what was going on in Indian football, seeing that there were no improvements in certain levels. Of course, as a coach, you always want the best for your team. You want the best infrastructure. You want the best conditions that you can work and improve. That was not happening, not only in Kerala, which is disappointing, but all around India. And it was kind of the end of 3 years cycles where, sometimes when your phone is off or is out of battery, you have to charge it.
Yeah, you have to charge it. Yeah.
Then there was the period of 6 months where, in our family, a family member was suffering with the disease, with the cancer. So I was also in the previous, I'd say 15, 20 years, very often absent. I was never there for family gatherings, Christmases, birthday parties, whatever it is, family holidays. Then you see some people from your family leaving this world. And then you have this moment like, okay, maybe I don't spend enough time with them that I have to because I don't know, in Russia, in China, in India, in America, I don't know where. So take a step back a little bit. I remember leaving Kerala Blasters, immediately receiving offers from ISL. Immediately I was like, no, I will not work for the moment. Then receiving some offers from Europe. Everybody I informed that I will take at least 6 months gap to take a rest because I needed it. And then I spent a lot of time with my family, especially with the people and the person who was sick. I wanted to be there, kind of support and everything, because I also saw that family appreciated it. So sometimes we need to step back. We are all human beings, to switch off sometimes, to switch off social medias, to switch off out of all this rush, and to take a step back and to, think a little bit, recharge our batteries. And then when the moment is right, go back.
Is there something now that you wanted to talk to them, that you want to tell to them?
I want to tell them that I'm really grateful for all the moments that we spent together, that I love them a lot, that the love that we created in between, that will never fade, and that if the time comes again, if there is a situation or whatever it is, that who knows, maybe we join and we cooperate together. So it would be a great pleasure, and it was a great pleasure being with them, having them next to us. So thanks for all the moments. You are great.
Maybe there will be one question from Manjapada. If you are getting one more chance to come back to Kerala Blasters, will you be coming back?
Yes, if the chance occurs, if there are correct circumstances and everything, yes, because Kerala will always be my second home. So it will not be for me going back. It will be like coming back home. This kind of thing. So if it occurs, yes, why not?
So while we're talking about Kerala again, can we talk about the infrastructure that you are getting in terms of football? To develop football. So what do you want to? What suggestion you have?
It's disappointing because when you see such a huge state, huge, 30-something million people, and you see the lack of possibilities for kids to develop in a sports way, especially speaking about football. Football is a great part of Kerala culture.
Correct.
And Kerala emotion goes around several clubs like Kerala Blasters, maybe Gokulam or some other parts of Kerala. Football is in a Malayali blood.
Yes.
And it's disappointing to see that there are no enough infrastructure around the state, which should be provided two ways, or by the government or by the private investors who would like to build up nice projects. Because I assume that parents as well, they want to get their kids, they want to give them direction towards the sport, thinking like, why, maybe there is a possibility that you can create something nice out of your life thanks to sport, which is the case when you see the sportsmen around the world. Like, sports opens many doors to you.
Okay.
And it's disappointing to see that the lack of these possibilities. I understand as well that the culture and the people, sometimes they say, why would you go and practice sport to do something? There is nothing in it. Better go and study and become a doctor.
Yeah.
You know how it goes, better than me in India. But again, sport is a very healthy industry. And if provided with the correct infrastructure, you cannot imagine how quickly it can develop new champions, new potential players of highest level, new Olympic champions, whether the sport is collective or individual. And it was disappointing to see that in the 3 years being there, nothing improved.
Yeah.
So speaking about training centers, speaking about training grounds, speaking about stadium infrastructures, I don't know how it goes or if it has to be improved by government, by private, but these kind of things are crucial. You go around the world. I remember me being a player. Whenever I was getting offers, first thing I was asking was, do you have a training center? No? Okay, goodbye. I'm not coming. No, really. Many players and coaches around, especially in Europe, around the world, that's the first thing. That's the key point. You don't have a training center? Okay, goodbye. I'm not coming. So that's the most important, to develop your team, your players, your youth, which actually brings later and becomes the asset of your club. So I hope that it will happen in the future. It's not only the problem in Kerala, it's all around India.
All around,
That's something that it should be discussed and realized within the Football Federation as well, in cooperation with states, government and everything. And of course, if that happens, then you will see in no time huge improvement, the kids staying in the line, wanting to get into those football schools and football academies. And it will bring more joy, more happiness, more opportunities, and more energy for everybody. So I hope that it will happen soon.
Now lots of initiatives are coming from government side, So let's hope for the best.
Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best. They have to realize as well that that's the key point, to having also your youth a little bit more under control, to avoid them being part of illegal activities or stupid things on the streets or whatever. Sport is a healthy industry. So whoever starts building something like that, he has a huge benefit out of it, that's for sure.